I'd like to call this meeting to order. Will the secretary please call the roll?
Mrs. Chu.
Here.
Mr. Sismar.
Here.
Mr. Hahn.
Here.
Mrs. Lax.
Here.
Mrs. Reese.
Yes, here.
Mr. Seeler.
Here.
Mr. Simmons. Mr. Winston.
Here.
President Becker.
Here, we have a quorum. Please rise to salute the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend meetings of public bodies. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the East Brunswick Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published at the Board of Education offices. Written notice was also provided to the Sentinel, the Newark Star Ledger, the Home News and Tribune, and the Municipal Clerk of East Brunswick. All Board of Education meetings, with the exception of executive session discussions, are videotaped for later broadcast. Individuals who speak at the board's public meeting should be aware of these videotaping rules. Good evening. We have a need to go into closed session. Can I please have a motion to go into closed session for the reason specified in tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Lax.
Second.
Second by Mr. Seeler. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. We're in closed session. Thank you.
So, being back in open session, there are two items that the board needs to take formal action on. The first one with respect to HIB case number EBHS 1920.002. The recommendation is to affirm the recommendation. You need a motion?
So moved.
Second. That's the first one.
It's the first one.
This is the first
So
one.
motion by Mrs. Lax, second.
By Mr.
Mr.
Chad.
Seeler.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I forgot what you
Is there
did.
any discussion?
Any discussion? Secretary, please call the roll.
Mrs. Chu?
Yes.
Mr. Sismar?
Yes.
Mr. Hahn?
Yes.
Mrs. Lax?
Yes.
Mrs. Reese?
Yes.
Mr. Seeler?
Yes.
Mr. Winston?
No.
And President Becker.
Yes.
Motion carries.
On the second HIB issue,
On the second issue concerning HIB case number EBHS 1920.004, the recommendation is to affirm the HIB findings. We need a motion, please.
So moved.
moved by Chad,
Second.
second by Lori. Is there any discussion? Secretary, please call the roll.
Mrs. Chu?
Yes.
Mr. Sismar?
Yes.
Mr. Hahn?
Yes.
Mrs. Lax?
Yes.
Mrs. Reese?
Yes.
Mr. Seeler?
Yes.
Mr. Winston?
Yes.
President Becker.
Yes, motion carries.
Okay, we're back now to the regular agenda.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, so,
Okay,
sorry.
we do not have a superintendent's report tonight.
No, President Becker, none tonight.
Okay. For the good of the cause of the public, Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment to allow for a fair and orderly public comment period. Individual comments are limited to 5 minutes. Protect the privacy of all students and staff. Concerns regarding individual students and staff members should generally be addressed by first meeting with the appropriate administrative staff. Is there anyone wishing to address the board? Seeing none, I close the public portion. I would like a motion to move tonight's agenda in its entirety,
And before you have a motion, just to bring...
including
I'm sorry. Just want to make sure we're not missing anything.
the personnel agenda that was sent to us at home,
Thank you.
and the facilities item that was on our table, our dais in front of us tonight.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Seeler,
Second.
second by Mr. Hahn. Is there any discussion? The board, secretary, please call the roll.
Mrs. Chu?
Yes.
Mr. Sismar?
Yes.
Mr. Hahn?
Yes.
Mrs. Lax? Mrs.
That's
Lax
our lead.
departed. Mrs. Reese?
Yes.
Mr. Seeler?
Yes.
Mr. Winston?
Yes.
President Becker.
Yes, motion carries. Are there any committee reports, information items, or the good of the cause of the board?
We had a curriculum committee meeting on November 18th, and we voted tonight to approve some new book and kits in the science area. So my understanding is it hasn't been more than 10 years since they've been replaced. So certainly a good time to do so, and just keeping on top of the latest material for our kids. I think it's a great thing, so thank you.
And remember, keep in mind, of course, the recommendation is very careful in your agenda, subject to availability of funding in the next fiscal year budget. So these are things that we want to make a priority, but everything will be weighed in its entirety. Are there any other committee reports, information items for the good of the cause for the board? Mr. Seeler, are you going to be here the next meeting? Or do we roast you now?
No, I will be here the next meeting.
You will be here the next meeting. There will be a roast for Mr. Seeler on the 19th. You're all invited.
Medium rare?
I'm sorry?
Medium rare?
Yes, bring your own marshmallows. There is no need for a closed session. Therefore, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Seeler, second by Mr. Winston. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Whatever. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Good night, folks. Thank you.